20 voters.
Are you kidding?
I'm telling you.
Wow.
You really would find up to that. It was really a poor turnout, really, in the FCT. Because, why am I saying the FCT is of paramount, because we have more people that are learned, more illiterate people, more taxpayers.
Yes.
Because it is taxpayers' resources that are being used to conduct elections. So if we do not have people that understand a bit about democracy, about, voting, about political parties, about asking and demanding for good governance, then are we sure that the people in the rural area really even understand what they're doing? We are the ones supposed to hold the government to account, most importantly, because we understand some of this, bring my rolling.
So, listen, you mentioned a whole lot of things here, right? About the fact that, one of the largest population of taxpayers, people who are enlightened, businesses and all of that. We barely had 250,000, I checked, they said about 15% of...
50%, 15% turnout.
So the FCT is not known to have... It's not a boiling point when it comes to elections in Nigeria. So what would you attribute? Is it a lack of confidence in the system? What exactly would you say made people to just relax? And because I tried to conduct a mini poll here on the Friday before, and a lot of people were saying, I'm not going to go, I'm not going to. So what in your own, assessment, having been someone who's been involved in the system all this while, that made people to not come out?
Now, the last general elections, I was on ground. And I also monitored elections in the FCT. I must tell you, there was a huge turnout.
The last election. Even if we still recorded low voters turnout, but that was the first of its kind that we had, FCT people, citizens come out massively. There were some polling units that I won't forget, had people cook food and bring. They brought canopies, they brought drinks, they were seated and they said, this time, our vote must count. And when INEC did not live to, the expectations of Nigerians by ensuring that the election was conducted free, fair, and credible, it also contributed to what we are seeing now. And our fear is that it might be worse in 2027. You understand? So it might really, really be worse. And I can attest to the fact that most Nigerians, even on our social media handles, when they're reporting or commenting on our posts, I went to one polling unit, Swat, you won't believe it. Yeah.
That one has stunned me. If you go on a social media handle on PPDC NG, you will find out that one has given us over 40,000 views. Because guess what? Only one registered voter was assigned to that polling unit. Only one registered voter. And you know what? They deployed INEC officials, deployed security agents, transported the voting materials there. Now, what does that imply? Waste of money.
Indeed.
And there's also a polling unit opposite it, and that's my polling unit 064. This one is 065. That had like 100 registered voters. So why didn't you just reallocate this person there and save our money? So some of these issues keeps repeating itself. How are allocations of polling units done? What are the criteria, that you use in allocating polling units? Because some polling units had overflow. They had more than they could handle. And you're sending the same number of officers to different polling units. So polling unit with over 1,600 registered voters still has 3. The ones with 1 still has 3. You understand? Wow. So we need to look at the logistics, the process, the conduct of the elections. And that is why PPDC is interested in this particular election. And that's why I came. Why? Because before we begin to make advocacies, before we begin to call on bad governance, we must know that this is where it all starts. This is the grassroots point. And local government and chairmanship elections, councillorship elections are very important to us because that's where development starts.
Exactly.
We cannot just be looking at the presidency and the general elections when grassroots development is suffering. And guess what? Budgetary allocations via the current administration, making local government autonomy compulsory is something that Nigerians should be awakened to come. That these people are intentionally ensuring that we do not leave our houses to vote.
All right, Abdullahi, let me come to you, right? It's quite sad to hear this. I mean, because compared to last year, we should have seen an improvement. Seeing that just before this area council elections, the release or the signing of the electoral law, even though it wasn't going to, I mean, that should have boosted some sort of confidence. But it's sad that we're hearing this sort of stories, right? Do you think this was deliberate, with all the ills or the gaps that Lucy noted from the late delivery
the lack of papers, and all the other things. I mean, do you sense some sort of conspiracy theory around it, or what exactly would you attribute to some of these things that you saw in the field?
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah.
I think some of the things are deliberate because looking at the whole preparation, I don't think there is a proper preparedness in this whole FCT election.
Why would you say that?
Okay, the reason for saying that is a lot of INEC officials arrive at the polling unit late. That one also, the voters were frustrated, the polling units that we visited, voters were frustrated because they were there as early as possible, as early as 7:30 a.m. And some of the INEC officials, they were not on ground then. So in our report, about 40% of the polling units that we observed did not commence the voting at official time of 8:30.
Yeah.
So that also gives the voters, like, it makes them angry. And could you believe another issue that the voters encountered on the field is that some of these beavers, I'm talking about particularly about the beavers, we went to a particular polling unit, 002 City Center, that's close to Abacha Barrack.
Okay.
And guess what? We encountered that the election officials were there and the voters were there, but they were not voting then. And we tried to observe what is the reason behind them not voting.
Yeah.
And to our greatest surprise, the INEC officials said that the beavers that they are supposed to use to accredit for voters, it does not have charge, and they don't have power bank to charge it.
It did not have charge.
They didn't charge it, and they don't have power bank to charge it. I took time to interview one of the voter. He said that he has a power bank, but he will not give it to the INEC officials.
But that speaks of a very deliberate lack of preparation.
Of course.
I mean, we've been preparing for this election for how long, and you say that there is no charge.
So that's why I earlier mentioned
what polling booth again? Please, let's call that the
002, close to Abacha Barrack City Center.
Interesting.
That's why I said there is a kind of deliberate lack of preparation for this election. So it's part of the contributing factors for the voter apathy.
Yeah.
So some of the voters there, they were angry and they left the polling unit back to their destinations because they were saying that there is no reason for them that they leave what they were doing to come out to vote, though the turnout was low, but despite making effort to vote, and the beavers is not charged.
So at the end of the day, were they saying people should wait for them to charge it, or basically how was that sorted out?
They said they make a contact that the INEC will bring another beavers for them. Yes.
Wow.
So
interesting.
That's why I say there is absolutely lack of preparation.
Yeah. Nnenna, I saw online, cases in some particular polling. There was one I saw in Kuchikau that there was an allegation of interference of security. In fact, they were saying, speaking about complicity of security personnel, coming to take ballot boxes and just a whole lot. So what's your comment with regards to vote buying, and then also the complicity or how security was carried on to ensure that people felt safe in the course of carrying out the voting during this election?
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah.
This is my very first time observing the elections.
Okay.
And based off my observations and what I had seen on the internet, I didn't encounter any, security issues.
Okay.
What I saw that was a major issue was the low turnout of voters.
Low turnout.
Yes. I was in Mambila Barracks.
Okay.
We visited almost all the polling units in Mambila Barracks, over 8 of them.
Okay.
And there were little to no people to vote in the polling units, and they had more than 1,000 registered voters in almost each of the polling units, and that's a lot. That's a large number of people not coming out to vote. So that was my issue based on what I saw.
Oh, wow, interesting.
But there were reports of vote buying. So not only PPDC monitored the elections, we had BCG Africa join us on this route, and we also had other CSO partners that reported a lot of vote buying. I think I'd witnessed one myself, but honestly, these things will not change. But that's the only way that politicians can actually rig elections. Swat, to be honest with you, that's one of the key ways that they will rig this
But
election.
we have a provision in the new act that says there is a provision for jail term.
It has always been there.
No, it was up now to 10 years. At least that's to deter people.
It has always been there now. So you cannot enforce. And you cannot keep saying that it's there when you've not enforced it. If we get people arrested, I think I saw in the news FCT arrested about 10, that participated in
Yeah, there was
vote
some
buying.
arrest made, yes.
If we begin to arraign these criminals because it's a criminal act, and get people to know and get people to know that look, this is a crime
Yeah.
against the nation itself, against the citizens, against taxpayers, it will deter people from buying votes. Because let me tell you, we were doing a cross analysis today.
Yeah.
In as much as we are not happy that the National Assembly passed and the presidency passed the current electoral bill, which I say that yes, beavers, transmission of result by beavers is compulsory, but then in case of conflict or connection issues, then from ECZ 8A is allowed to be used to upload, result. But those are the conflicts we are having. But without that, Swat, if Nigerians come out to vote, it's difficult to rig these elections. We are 250 million. And if we get even 40 to 60 million Nigerians come out to vote, it will be difficult to rig the elections, to be really honest with you. And the truth is that the politicians understand the way we think. They know that when they put pressure here, they put this, they put that, it will deter us.
Yeah.
It will deter us like we are wasting our time. We do not have the patience to go through all this struggle just because we want to vote and our vote do not count. But the truth is your vote counts. And, systematically monitored about 10 polling units. I went on IRIF to look at the results that was uploaded in that polling unit. Guess what? The one I talked about only one registered voter. It was 0 they recorded.
0. So the
Zero.
person that went there
Did not vote. The person did not show up. The one person that was registered there did not show up. So they reported 0. My polling unit reported, I think, 4. You understand?
Very
and those are the
concerning.
numbers that I see. Now, why I say it's difficult, it's really very difficult. The only thing that can happen is if INEC is involved in the fraud, to be honest. Because the
INEC is involved
in the rigging. That's the truth.
Oh, okay.
Now,
Okay.
the truth is, there's beavers that are accredited. And according to the electoral bill, both happens manually and electronically. So you are registered as a registered voter, and you go to your polling unit. Your name is being looked for on the manual. Initially, when we were serving then and doing this work, just manual accreditation. But now, after you've been accredited, you now move to the beavers to take in your thumbprints. And the thumbprints, no matter who you are, even if you are 10 in this world, your twins, quadruplets, your thumbprint is unique to you.
You alone, yes.
Now, each polling unit has a total number of registered voters. For instance, mine has 100. So what the presiding officer or electoral officers are expected to return back to INEC or upload is a total number of 100. You cannot exceed that number.
Exactly. That's how it's supposed
You
to
cannot exceed. We are still trying to analyze the data on Harry, and we'll come back with a very tentative report that speaks to the result that were uploaded. And now I saw some today on some of our platforms, our social media platform of our partners, that showed that some reports, some polling units are above the registered voters.
And that's the problem.
That's criminal.
That's the problem. So we can easily get these people. That's the truth. The beavers has your own thumbprint. So if you don't show up, nobody can thumbprint on your behalf.
Yes, indeed.
Nobody can be accredited on your behalf.
Yeah, we saw cases of the FCT minister, high involvement of politicians that are not INEC officials that
I
are
saw
not
the Minister of
accredited.
Security Affairs. It was in my polling unit. One of the places I monitor. I saw them.
Okay, so why what do you say about that? Because you would expect that politicians just stay away from. You've done your campaign and everything.
Yeah.
You've done. So what do you say
In
about
fact, you're
that?
not even registering there. You're not
even a registered
you're not
voter in
registered
the
voter
FCT.
there.
Exactly.
So what are you doing there? What are you supervising? You understand? It is not your role to supervise the election. INEC has officials. Taxpayers' monies are used to pay them. Now, if we want to look at the conduct of the FCT minister, to really be honest with you, in a sane country, he's supposed to be behind bars. In a sane country. Number one, you've caused our vote to be disenfranchised. He said, according to the news, it came out, I think yesterday, said there was a presidency that said because of security reasons, people should stay at home.
And you know, before the elections, he was even recorded. I mean,
He was recorded.
He said, just go out and
leave the rest to me.
Leave the rest to me. So I mean, what does that mean?
That's a lot of statement that can make people feel that, look, our votes do not count. You understand? And then you see the FCT minister going to ensure that PDP, hands over to APC. So that is really, really an action that the government needs to look at. That's if we are saying in this country. This is the reasons why Nigerians are moving back. We are moving back. There's no good road, there's no hospital, there is no education, we can't have access to basic amenities, and then the number one place where we're supposed to exercise our franchise, we are being bullied out of it.
That's not good. You know, they say when a day is going to be good or something, I don't know how they say that thing, but when a weekend is going to be good, it starts from Wednesday or something. What do you make of the 2027? I mean, based on your assessment of the area council polls in Abuja, does it speak anything? Are there changes or anything you would want to pass across as someone who has observed this election and the things we need to put in order to see a better performance for 2027? What exactly? How do you connect this to 2027?
Well, okay, Nigerians has this thought that this FCT election is going to give a reflection of what 2027 general election is going to be.
Yeah.
So I think there are a lot of things that we need to consider if and only if we want to make 2027 general election better.
Okay.
Number one, INEC should make proper arrangements in terms of logistics, and then INEC should properly train the election officials. Because we noticed that I came across one report on social media that says there is one INEC official that didn't allow observer to come, not to interfere on the election process, but to come closer to the polling unit. I mean, in terms of snapping picture, in a way that it will not capture the voter's face. Of course, the observers are aware of all the rules and regulations set by INEC to protect the information, the sensitive information of the voters. So that in that particular polling unit, there is this discrepancy that the election official did not really understand what he's supposed to do on that polling unit. So I think one of the ways that we can enhance our election ahead of 2027 is proper training to the election observers. And then this logistics arrangement, it's supposed to be that the sensitive and both sensitive and non-sensitive materials should get to the election officials on time. Because as I told you earlier that a lot of voters were on their polling units waiting for election officials to arrive. What causes that? Is because of improper planning. So election materials should get to these officials on time for voters to start the election procedures as designed on time. So that will enhance the election, the whole election process against the 2027 general election.
Indeed. As much as we are speaking about voter apathy, this is one of the greatest threats for me, if you ask me, to democracy in Nigeria, where people are seeing a whole lot, they're getting discouraged, and so they just feel, I'm not going to. What do you think is the best way that citizens can be encouraged to further participate? I don't know. I don't think we have any other election in FCT, but maybe other places. Ekiti and Osun are going to come up. Yes, but then, in your own estimation, what can be done urgent as a sense of urgency? To get Nigerians to want to participate. Let me hear your opinion on this, Nnenna.
Okay. I think we should not be discouraged, right? Everything is not working. A lot of things in Nigeria are not working. The system, the hospitals, the healthcare, a lot of things are not working.
Yeah.
But I think really that if we know what we want as Nigerians, we want good leaders, we want these things, I think we should just come out and vote. Because that is what is discouraging us. If we really want a change, then we should just come out and exercise our rights. Because for these particular elections, I think one of the major issues they had was that they felt their vote isn't going to count, because after all, what happens is that their votes, the election is rigged. And when we don't come out, we give them a chance to rig. When we don't come out, because then they have registered voters that are not voting. So they can always find a way to, compensate.
Do you think the 2026 Electoral Act is going to correct some of those things you're talking about? Some abnormalities, some places that give a lot of loopholes for interferences that stops people from coming. Do you think in any way it's going to address that?
Well, I think they made it a little difficult, but if we come out to vote, we wouldn't have any issue because of the real-time transmission of votes.
Real-time? We don't have real-time.
We don't have
electronic transmission, yes, but
it's not real-time.
It's not real-time. And then the place where you have internet glitches here and there, it just gives automatic manual.
So I think that's the place of education.
Okay.
And the former INEC chairman,
Yakubu,
came out on news and told us that INEC is ready to transmit election electronically, maybe not real time.
Yeah.
But internet is not the problem. To really be honest with you, look at the budgetary allocation for INEC. And in Nigeria alone, we have over 60-something% of us that have access to internet.
Yes.
So it's no longer news that this is a strategy. There is a game plan to disenfranchise Nigerians, to send us back home, to deter us. And my concern mostly, it is not with the people in the rural areas because they will show up. Truthfully, go and look at the data. People in the rural areas show up more. The poor show up more to vote for their leaders. And unfortunately, they may not even know who the leaders are. They may not have the data. They just want to come out. Some of them do not really care. And we saw one report today that said the girl said, it is better I collect this money and buy more. I'm not sure that I will see money for more again. But come on, Swat, we are educated. We are the middle class. We are not the rich. We are the middle class. We still have a chance because we do not need 5,000 naira. To really be honest with you, we do not need our vote to be bought. We have a chance to come out, and we are the ones to take the message to others that look, if we come out in masses, it is difficult to rig elections. To be honest with you, I have done a thorough analysis, and I beg to be, I beg to, anyone to come and say contrary to this. It is difficult to rig elections if we have Nigerians coming. Now, this current bill contributed, like I said initially, but it is not enough. I believe that advocacy will still go on for an amendment. Since I said already gathering together.
It's been assented to already, so there's no amendment again.
But you can amend that. We are still pushing for it. 2027. We are still pushing. But on the other end, we are taking the gospel and say, come, this is a game plan. We need to have our game plans as citizens. That is the truth. And that game plan is to say, no matter how long it's going to take me to queue, I'm going to come out and cast my vote.
Yeah.
But we see this sort of apathy mostly for low-level elections. Probably you see a great improvement when it comes to national
like I
elections.
said, that's where the problem is. Development is not up, down. It is bottom up. Development starts from the grassroots.
That's the reality. But when you look at what is happening,
Mr. President cannot be in the 36 states. We've been shouting Tinubu, yes, he is the number one man. But then he cannot be in the 36 states. He has governors. He has local government chairmen. If he did not recognize the place of the chairman, he wouldn't have passed the local government autonomy now.
Yeah.
It's a place of rural development. There are budgetary allocations that goes to this local government that none of us is even tracking. And that's where PPDC is coming in very strongly now. We want to begin to look at and tell Nigerians, look, you refuse to come out for AMAG election. This is how much AMAG has in the budget. This is the development capital project that AMAG has been assigned to deliver to the people of AMAG. And you need to hold your government, your leaders, accountable to those developments. If you go to some places in Kuje, Buhari, Abaji, you will see that development is still just scratching the tail. But lots of budget allocations have been released or has been in the budget for those local governments. So the truth is, if Nigerians allow the politicians to have a game plan to disenfranchise us and think that our votes do not count of one, you give them the chance to win easily. But this is where advocacy starts. We cannot wait until they've been elected and begin to shout. This is where advocacy should start. We need to demand beyond the manifesto. You need to tell us what you're coming to do.
Yeah.
What are you bringing to the table? What change are we expecting? We need to even give you a citizens manifesto and say, come, this is what we expect from you to do within this period to this period. I'm waiting for when Nigerians begin to impeach their leaders, because we have the right to do that.
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's constitutional, but we don't do it except for politically motivated
Motivated.
reasons.
And Swat, thank you for taking me there. It is really very sad that part of the game plan for politicians is that they are using us against us. Some polling units, we had young people fighting themselves.
Yes.
They were seriously fighting. And I said, this is a free and fair process. It should be a peaceful process. We should be able to decide who we want to vote for with data and evidence, not because of sentiments, religious, sentiments, not because of ethnicity sentiments, not because of any of that, but because we want to see who is going to bring results. Nigeria needs to compete on the global stage, and to get that done, we need to get it right through the electoral process.
Yeah, indeed.
And again, in addition, I want to refer back to the Electoral Act 2026.
The one that was just
exactly.
amended. Okay.
Yes. In section 12,
Yeah.
subsection 1D,
Yeah.
and subsection 2, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria recognizes inmate right voting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we want to call on INEC to start preparing for operational framework,
to ensure that inmates also participate.
Participate in the upcoming election. So they should carry civil society like PPDC, which we are doing a lot of work that has to do with access to justice.
Yeah.
So they should carry us along. Let's have this framework that will give the inmates right to vote, that has to do with voting process, that has to do with voter registration, accreditation, security arrangement, results management, and coordination relevant to the correctional facilities.
Yeah.
So that they can exercise their rights too.
Okay.
So guess what? Some results on Arif is not yet uploaded.
Up to now.
Yes. We checked this morning. Some wards in some area council still had about 96% uploaded.
It sounds like.
But we have the result already.
It is well. So let me say something. Let me ask genuinely, right? Over and above all of these issues that we've observed during the election, by you and your team going out there, from the apathy to the interference here and there, and a whole lot of other issues that we can point out, are there any positives that we can take out of this election? Can you say anything positive about the area council polls that just happened? And if yes, then what are some of them?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have. In terms of security,
Yeah.
there is improvement.
Okay.
Because each and every polling unit that we visited,
Yeah.
there were
had
adequate security.
security.
So
Okay.
I think it's a plus.
All right.
Yeah, I can testify that.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Because when the polls are being reported on, most of the time it's a very peaceful election.
Yeah.
We did not record that. Anything, Lucy? Anything, Nnenna?
I didn't say anything good though. So me, I cannot lie. I did not say anything good. Yeah. That's the truth. There was no improvement. I don't know if you understand.
You are particularly worried about the apathy.
I'm particularly worried about the apathy. Because
Okay.
the truth is, it takes a people to own a nation. That is the truth. So if we are not concerned about this apathy, fear they catch me. Because 2027 will be louder.
Then whose fault is it? It's the people who refuse to come out and vote.
Both parties have a fault in it. That's the truth. Like I said, there's a game plan to make you stay home and not come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you accepting that game plan, it means you're contributing to it.
Yeah.
The worst of it is that, do you know why the city is paying me like this?
Why?
That increased tax. It is taxpayers' money that you see to do this thing. So I don't know. Tax has come. This is the tax regime. They are taxing everything. There is VAT on everything that you are buying. You are paying from your nose. You are paying consciously or unconsciously. And it's your money that is going for elections. INEC has released 800 something billion.
Yeah.
Guys, where do you think that money is going to come from? It's not going to drop. It's taxpayers' money that will be used to conduct a failed election. An election that is not credible. An election that they've seen no improvement from the previous elections. So when we are measuring and we are looking at industry, we're looking at not just progress, are we making spontaneous changes? Are we competing? Because the truth is, INEC will say they participate in other country elections. Is this what we are taking back home? You understand? We as the giant of Africa are supposed to set the pace. We are looking forward to when Nigeria will begin to sit in their homes and vote.
Yeah.
You know, when we're doing the campaign, we said CBT centers, JAM is being written across the nation. So how is JAM doing that?
Exactly.
Do you know that NBA, they vote in their houses?
So
NBA elections.
it makes me wonder, right? When we see some of these things that happen not elsewhere but in Nigeria, you're talking about JAM, we're talking about banking, we're talking about POS operators, and so many other things that are internet based. So and it goes on very fine. Then why the resistance when it comes to election? And then this rhetorics about, in rural areas. I mean,
So
I just don't get it.
National Assembly members should cover their face in shame. If you're in the National Assembly and you voted and say you don't have internet in your village, cover your face in shame. That's the truth, because why are we letting you to represent us when you cannot make us compete? When you cannot bring development to our country? When you cannot ensure that we have access to electricity, access to internet? In some regions, internet is free. You cannot be moving on the street and you access internet. And we are still talking about internet as we have moved to AI now. And some local government are still saying they don't have internet. Are we going forward or we are going backward? These are the issues that makes me afraid. And the part of it that is making me this is that it is my money. I'm paying tax. I'm paying tax.
This is stuff. All right, let's have some comments from people. Someone said the election conducted. That's Eric. He said elections. Okay. Let me take that again. Please, the election conducted on Saturday was free and fair. Go to state if they are conducting local government election. They also restrict movement for security reasons. So Wike did nothing wrong. I think these are highly political, thoughts. But then we'll take all of them together. Caller from Ipaja said this is more of a lamentation session than a program review of the last election in Abuja. You can't tell me there was nothing positive about the election, or is it because the opposition lost woefully? Now Wike moving around is scaring people away from voting. All the CSOs, okay, please, you need to be respectful in your comments, Mr. Caller. You don't have to come for the jugglers. State your opinion if you're opposing what they said, and I think that suffices rather than coming, in an insultive way. Good morning. This one said, okay, no, this is not for this session. Let's listen to this quick comment here.
Madam Swat, Auntie Grace. Yes, my name is Israel. Madam Swat, I'm dropping voice note for the first time today. On this voter education, you see, it is actually the job of the National Orientation Agency to carry out campaign sensitization among Nigerians. But you know why they are not doing it is because the people in power have hijacked the agency. The agency that is supposed to be like an independent agency, they have hijacked it, silenced it, and you see that the director of the agency will rather be speaking in favor of the government. You understand? Which is not supposed to be so. So, for us to get things right in this country, both the CSOs, as in individuals, the media, and other key institutions in the country that are non-governmental, I will suggest we all work together to sensitize the people on voter education, and also they need to tell the people that selling your vote is selling your right. We need to discourage, as in, like, the level of poverty now is too much that people will hardly be able to reject money.
All right. I think he's speaking about vote buying. Okay. Good afternoon. My name is, this one, I think I've taken that already. Swat, I greet you and the guests. The Nigerian masses cannot get it right because we have leaders who are ready to kill, maim, to remain in power. It's only foreign powers like US that are doing to force the government to do the right thing. Everything you see there was deliberately done by government and INEC. The masses can do little or nothing to change the situation unless you want mass killing by security forces. Is it that bad? I don't think so. Until we Nigerians jettison money during election, honestly, will continue to suffer. The highest bidder political party were all over the place, giving voters money and ensuring that they vote for them. I saw what happened here in Kwali Area Council. It's a shame. Right. This one here says, good morning, good afternoon, rather. Honestly, I'm not moved by emotions, but the recent and just concluded FCT Area Council election shows that 2027 general election is still not a guarantee for those of us opting for good governance. Again, INEC and the ruling party will still be our hitch, already using power of incumbency to turning the country into a personal company as they keep weaponizing poverty to buy the conscience of desperate, hungry Nigerians. Now, my question is, who will deliver the true vulnerable Nigerians from the hands of bad leadership? That's what, what's your name now? Thompson from Gwarimpa is asking. Banki in Wuse 2 said, good afternoon, greetings. The low turnout in the area council election is the usual decimal in all local government election in all the 36 states. This shows the esteem we hold our local governments. I still question the voters register, and I believe that NIN card could be our voters card and thus will not necessitate updates, and one can vote anywhere. That's an amazing suggestion, if you ask me. This one says, you guys fail to understand one thing, that those who count the votes are more powerful than those who cast the votes. I beg to differ with your guest when she said if Nigerians come out to vote, it will be difficult to rig election. During the 2023 elections, Nigerians came out en masse. Where are the votes? Check the results of the 2023 elections and you'll be right to ask, where are the votes of Nigerians? The authority suppresses the votes. So if those, if they want to remain in power, at all costs, the masses can't do much, not even in Nigeria. That is what Emmanuel opines. Let me just read this and then we'll take a call or two. Then I will have your responses. Good afternoon. For me, some of our people are not being fair to INEC and some of them too are partisan. So I don't really believe anything they say they observe. Okay. Good afternoon, Swat and the guests. Honestly, INEC are complicit in disenfranchising the electorate. It is always observed that whenever the electorate come out en masse to vote, INEC always frustrate the masses by not bringing the complete voting items, e.g. stamp, etc., to the polling units, thereby disenfranchising the voters. Indeed, there's a game plan, forever sent that in. Let's listen to this quickly then.
Hello, my name is Oka from Gwarimpa. The worst of the whole thing I noticed is that the elimination of voters, which we were not even contacted. It came the eve of the election where we voted in presidential election 2023. Is no more where, and meanwhile they put you to somewhere that is about 5 kilometers or 4 kilometers away from your place. So how do you go there? That is the problem.
Hello.
I greet you, Madam Swat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma. How weekend now?
Very fine, thank you.
You are highly welcome. Election has come and gone. I voted on Saturday. Anyway, the last caller, I want to talk about what he said. There are some people as well that the same place that we normally vote before, they now shifted them to other places. So they go to other places, they could not see, they say they should go the other side again. I don't know what it is. They just annoyed and go back to their house. I think I need to do something on people here and there. And if there's something like that, the awareness to come out early so that people will be aware. If you send messages here and there on time, it's not on election day, or many people cannot even get the message until when you not really where you vote before. They now say, no, go to the place, you check, you don't see your picture or your name, and you go the other side. Our car worked very well on that Saturday. But where I used to vote before, that's where I voted. It's not shifted my own. For some of my people that we went together, I work out to like places, and that gave me opportunity to see how election is been going. And people vote, faithfully. But there's one particular party there, they offer people money. There's one voter party, a particular place. Voter, if you are voting for social party, don't come here. take money, or you take, and people are rejecting the money. You know, some
All
people
right.
are very number of people are rejecting the money. I think they should stop all this nonsense. It's nonsense.
All right.
So, thank you.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Hello, Barrister Swat.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I greet your guest.
Thank
I
you.
greet the last caller, Elder Bushi, FCT council election. Indeed, election. I will not there be a voters apart when people are smelling electoral fraud. I was at my polling center that contained about 16 polling units. Barrister, so you need to see how both are being sold and bought on the venue of the electoral polling unit. And the security agents were stationed outside with their vehicles, about 6 vehicles of different categories of security agents. So, it's not given person any encouragement. What transfer last Saturday is not election. It's electoral caricature until the new electoral reform change. These people, current government, APC cannot conduct a free, fair, credible election for Nigeria. Go and write it. It's not possible. We saw last time in Bangladesh, there was an uprising 2024. Then they sacked the entire government. People uprising. They sacked the government. Then they put in place a caretaker government headed by a Nobel laureate, Bangladesh Nobel laureate. They conducted an election 2 weeks ago. It was free and fair. And they used manual, but it is credible. They did not do transfer.
All right.
Things are being manipulated. The FCT minister is going from one polling center to another. This is never unheard. No any FCT minister was so biased and transfer. Oh, Allah is here. Thank you.
All right. All right, let's take this on a final note then. I would take the comments from our guest. Hello. Yes, good afternoon.
My name is Prince.
All right, please, can you speak up? We can hardly hear you.
Okay, I wanted to say that in the last general election, whenever the person like you, particularly brought to the studio, you gave out a link, and that link was what I personally used.
We can't hear you. Your audio is very poor, sir. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, can you speak up? Your audio is very, very
Can you
poor.
hear me now?
Okay, I think it's better. Go
Can
ahead.
you hear me now?
Yes.
I think in the general election, there was this INEC person that you, Swat, brought to the studio who gave us a link that we used. I particularly used that link in certain states where I voted. That was able, and I used it to help a lot of voters who polling unit has been changed that they don't know anything about it. You brought that person, and that link really helped in that election because we discovered that somebody who is in Jos Township Stadium has been sent to the Plateau Hospital, for them to go and vote, and they are not aware. So that link that you sent, I think that will also help if constantly they come anytime there is an election for them to bring out those links in which you can use to help on the day of voting to be able to locate the polling units that voters have been sent to. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. You guys have heard the reactions, the support, and those people who are saying a lot of things. I mean, what one thing would you want to pick out and react to?
Now, it's about the movement.
Okay.
Now, this is the dynamics behind the movement. People are allowed to register nearest to where they can easily access their polling unit. And so more citizens within central area, Banex, will say they have shops there. So it's easier for them to easily register within there.
Okay.
And then you say they should not move. A huge number of them do not have vehicles. So how do you expect them to leave their homes to their shops where they thought they will have access to vote and vote? If we have general elections and movement is not restricted, why are you restricting elections in the chairmanship elections and look that we even think is going to be lesser? There were no security threat anywhere. Security officials were deployed fully.
Yeah.
If there are issues you've already recorded, you should make plans for them, not to say that there should be no restriction of movement. And that's why I fought the comment from that citizen that said no, that is normal. It's not normal. Voting is for the people. You register where you can easily have access to vote. You can say they should be shut down of businesses, but you cannot say restriction of movement. No, it is wrong. And that's why I fought the FCT minister or whoever the instruction came from, because he has right outrightly denounced that it didn't come from him. Yes.
Wow.
That it came from the president.
All right. Abdullahi, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I on my own view, it has really affected this election, because I could vividly.
You mean the restriction of movement?
Because we went to Kugbo Primary School. We went to a polling unit in Kugbo Primary School, and it happens to be that voters now were saying they registered there on that polling unit, and upon arrival to that polling unit, they were asked to go to Kugbo Mechanic to vote, and most of them were not mobile. So they feel like,
and that's a distance.
That's a distance, and they feel like,
and inside is hot sun.
Of course, and there is a restriction of movement. For us from Kugbo Primary School to go to Kugbo Mechanic, it was very difficult for us as an observer, because the road was blocked. We spent almost an hour.
30 minutes.
Almost an hour.
Did you flash your ID cards?
We did.
Yeah, we did.
They still didn't allow you pass?
They didn't. They were not even giving us attention.
Wow.
We had to go down on the road. We had to control. We have to contribute and create a pathway for us to pass.
People to pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
The truth is, we are really very non-partisan. How do you send messages to people a night before the election that their polling unit has changed? Some did not even receive the message until they got to the polling unit.
Yes.
And you're talking about party. We're not talking about party. We're talking about INEC. INEC is the institution in charge of conducting free and fair elections. So they should ensure that the process as to how citizens will go out to cast their vote is seamless. It's made easy so that we do not have excuses that it is because of this, it's because of. We want citizens to go out and vote. We want our votes to count. I want to be part of the process starting from here.
Nnenna, do you want to add anything?
I agree with what they have said. I think all I would say is restriction of the movement wasn't really necessary, because that disenfranchised a large
number of people, right?
I feel like if we had movement that day, we would definitely have had more voters.
Yeah, indeed. Okay, so before I let you guys go, we've had an extensive conversation. What would be the biggest agenda that PPDC, alongside the CSO circle, what agenda would you be setting for Joash Amipitan, who is the new INEC chairman? Because I feel this is his first trial, and from the assessment so far, it doesn't seem to be so right. When they say when you are going to be faithful in the big one, you have to start from the little. Yeah. So, looking at all of that, what agenda, Lucy, would you say you and your other colleagues in the CSO would be setting for him with regards to other elections coming, whether it's Ekiti, whether it's all the other ones, and then the general elections for 2027?
I think he should communicate more with Nigerians. Really,
he should
communicate more with Nigerians. I know that we also fought Yakubu for this. He communicated very lightly during the last election, and when the election day came, we saw something very contrary. But what we are saying is we need to understand the process.
Okay.
When materials are supposed to arrive, when electoral officers are supposed to be at the polling unit.
This has been, sorry to butt in, this election materials arriving late has been a reoccurring decimal for the last uncountable years.
That is why we are also setting that agenda for. We want to understand the procurement process, because the logistics as to the organization of elections is also a very big problem, a very huge problem, to the printing of the voters' materials, to the allocations, to the deployment, to the time of arrival. These are the things that causes issues, because if people go there by 10, you are not arrived, instead of 7. By 10, you're not there. Even 8, some of them are not yet open. What time would you come and arrange for people to begin to come in? You understand? And there is a time for voting. It's time for voting to stop, time for counting to start, and all those protocols. So the logistical issues is one thing that we need INEC to fix.
Because
We've
we are
always
gonna-
talked about a collaboration between NURTW with
That's what
INEC.
you always say.
So if that's not working, then we should find
We should
an
find
alternative.
alternative.
Yeah.
We should find alternative. We should make it open for people to. I don't know what system they're going to what framework to solve these long-standing logistical issues. Then the issues around beavers, because some polling units here report around beavers not functioning or not charged. It needs to be resolved urgently. We need those systems to work. And then even the IRIF, sir, you cannot announce results when IRIF portal is not fully uploaded. So where did you get the results from? Even that IRIF still has some upgrade to be done. For instance, if I go on IRIF, you've uploaded results, I should be able to see the number without having to, check each of the sheets by one. I've been able to see APC this, PDC, PDP this, all the parties, their scores across. So there's a lot of upgrade on the technical part that needs to be done. And we need information. I don't know how INEC is going to partner with NOA, like someone has suggested, to give Nigerians the right information that we can trust this process. And by that, we need to show us what you have done to improve the process. Show us evidentially what you have done to improve the process. So we are going to write to INEC. We are doing a lot of reports to INEC at the moment, particularly for reallocation of polling units, early arrivals of materials, functionality of the beavers, and deployment of security officials, to match the numbers of people we have in each polling unit. So be sure that you're giving equal attention to people as needed during the elections. Yeah. You want to say any other thing? I've covered it.
I think we've covered everything.
All right, thank you guys. I'm so happy you came, and I'm sure a whole lot has been passed. Even though I'm sure you're going to bring out a comprehensive report, you and your colleagues in the CSO circles, so that we can see a better and improved. I just don't hope that when we're talking about maybe Ekiti elections, we're going to have a repeat of some of these things, because we're tired of talking about late arrival of materials. We're tired of voter apathy. We're tired of vote buying. And it just keeps recurring in every election year. It shows that something is fundamentally wrong. And something needs to be done.
We're not holding people accountable.
We're not holding people accountable. And it's only foolishness to think you keep repeating this whole thing and think we're going to have an improved, electoral process in Nigeria. So we honestly are desirous of having a free, fair, smooth election in Nigeria, so people can be more confident of the system. I've been talking with Lucy James Abaji, who is the CEO of PPDC. Thank you so much for coming, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate Favour Nnenna Ugwu, who is the communications associate at PPDC. Thank you for coming. And Abdullahi Rufai Adamu, Democratic and Electoral Integrity Officer at the PPDC. Thank you for coming.
That's the man of the
My
moment.
pleasure.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Swat. That's the name my father gave me, but you can always call me Her Vocal Majesty. I'm the host of The Sunny Side on 95.1 Nigeria Info. It takes place every weekday, noon to 3 p.m., where we get to have all the lovely contemporary conversations. If your days are normally long and gloomy, well, not anymore, because I'm here to make it all bright and sunny for you. So join me. It's an invitation you don't want to miss out.